We've got the Ryan Routh trial that's underway in a federal court now in Florida. And look, there's say what you want about people who try to represent themselves being a fool for a client, but this guy takes the cake because he had some really wild pretrial requests. Look, he wanted to have strippers. He wanted to have, he said he wanted to have an ex-lover come. He said he wanted to avoid the trial and just challenge Donald Trump to a round of golf. What in the world is going on in South Florida? Mark Eiglarsh, since you're there, maybe you can answer that.
Hey, easy, buddy. We have 23 million people in Florida. Don't judge us by the 21 million, okay? Was Dave someone's line.
That's
anyway,
Carl Hayesen's
that's
line.
it. That's what it was.
Yes.
I love that line. Listen.
Or
okay.
Dave Barry.
Yeah, okay. So here's the deal. This is a slow guilty. We know it is. And typically prosecutors don't even like unrepresented because it becomes a circus. You know, you'd rather just have trained attorneys on both sides, and you're worried about really reversal. You have a guy who isn't following the rules and a judge who somehow can get angered by his tactics and then, hope and pray that the judge, makes some kind of decision that ultimately an appellate lawyer can find trampled on his rights. So it's difficult, it's messy, but a guilty verdict is almost certainly going to happen.
Yeah, so what Mark means by slow guilty, in the law, we refer to that as a slow plea of guilty, which you know what's going to happen. You know it's going to be a conviction, but you still have to go through the process. It's due process. Everybody's entitled to it, even nut jobs who represent themselves. But Dave, have you seen this interview with Ryan Routh's daughter? Because, look, I mean, whatever you may think about Ryan Routh, how can you not feel bad for his daughter? Let's take a look.
I just wanted the world to know who my dad is for who he is and not for what the media has painted him out to be.
Sarah Routh says her father, Ryan Routh, is a loving father who spent his life helping others and doing good for the community.
I mean, he's never wronged anybody. He's always been devoted to helping other people, and he doesn't understand why there's not more support out there.
Well, I mean, he is on trial for allegedly attempting to assassinate a presidential candidate, which most people would say is not a good, kind, or gentle thing.
Yeah, no comment on that.
So look, we've all been around this a long time. We see the people that are accused of crimes. We see people who are the direct victims of crimes. But look, I always felt, when I was a prosecutor, one of the folks I always felt bad for, like wives and children of people that had done terrible things, and I was having to send mom or dad to prison because it destroys their lives. And here you have a young girl who's, she still wants to believe in her dad. And so at least a part of me has got to feel like, gosh, she's as much of a victim here as anybody.
She's clueless, though. I mean, and she's not a child. And her dad has been accused of something very serious and has been convicted in the past of firebombing someone. I mean, he's an ex-felon, so he is someone who is not the person that she believes he is, even without the attempt to kill President Trump. So, no, I don't have much sympathy for her because, look, she's obviously not guilty herself, but she's delusional and she wants to keep believing this guy who is clearly not playing with a full deck, who clearly has had serious issues and has hurt lots of people in the past. So, no, maybe because I've been a prosecutor for too long that I've gotten cold-hearted on some of this stuff. But I just, after that interview, I just didn't have much sympathy.
But she didn't say my dad's innocent. What she said is something we hear very often, and that is he was good and loving to me and to people around. And she may be absolutely accurate, but then there's a side of him that wants to assassinate the president and who's a little nutty. And when asked about that, that's when she said no comment. So what she's saying could also be true. He might have been loving to people around him, but not so loving to Trump.
It would be better if she didn't speak to the reporter then.
Maybe I'm just getting too soft as I get older, and then being a father to a daughter. I really feel terrible for that young woman, and I'm sorry that her father has done this to her. She is a victim, whether she realizes it or not, and we obviously hope the best for her as she moves on with whatever's next in her life.